Welcome, traveler. Fairy tales have a wide variety of stock characters. These are the fictional types of individuals that audiences tend to recognize easily due to their recurring appearance and, of course, their stereotypical attributes. Samples of these range from lead characters such as the romantic Prince Charming, the Chosen One, and the damsel in distress, to villainous creatures in the shape of ogres, ugly sisters, and who could forget the archetypal hag. We've all seen her, sewn in myths and legends all over the world. She is the repulsive old woman lurking in the woods, believed to practice witchcraft, or, at times, even the work of the devil himself. Perhaps the quintessential antagonist in folk stories, the hag has for years saved authors the time and effort needed to get their narrative going. Emanating from primitive beliefs in gods and goddesses, how exactly did the hag transform into the worn-out literary foe, as well as Dungeons & Dragons' wicked witch of the Feywild, known today? Let's find out. The story of Hansel and Gretel features a cannibalistic old witch who lures children into her house made of pastries. Several versions of the classic tale call her the gingerbread hag. She is one of the most recognizable hags in folklore, and over time we've seen her set off countless different renderings in films, animated shows, and books. But the idea of wizened witches did not start with the gingerbread hag. In fact, the term hag had already appeared in Middle English in the form of hage, meaning demon or old woman, a word that was probably a shortening of Old English hagetes or hegtes, meaning witch, from Dutch hex, an unpleasant woman with a violent temper and a sharp tongue. According to the lore, hags are old, ugly, and malicious witches, said to be aligned with the devil or the dead. Their disgusting features would include long, crooked noses, warts, and rotten teeth. However, you must not fall victim to their outside appearance. Despite looking as if they're not long for this world, hags are largely immortal creatures that are exceptionally intelligent and surprisingly agile for their physique. No wonder they make for standard enemy in cultural tales. Since then, hags persistently materialized in oral tradition and folklore, ultimately paving the way for a brand new take on her name, the era of the old hag. In North American folklore, the old hag is a vicious spirit that comes out at night to torment its victim by riding on their chest and preventing them to breathe. Closely related to the Germanic lore's malicious entity called Mare or Mara, this variety of night hag provided us the ancient explanation for what we call today nightmares. Interestingly, this wasn't the only rendering of hags that survived the years. Baba Yaga of Slavic folklore, the Three Fates of Greek myth, the Philippines' Batabat, and sometimes even Lilith of the Torah are all considered variations of the traditional hag. These days, witches are often regarded as feminist icons, a way for women to reclaim the power to decide who they should be in this world, moreover, what they should do. But in the past, especially during the Middle Ages, women who either threaten or reject the heteropatriarchal order weren't given the same liberty that they now have to fully express themselves. Instead, they were vilified. The truth is, some hags may be wrinkly from old age, but they were traditionally seen as elemental goddesses who were neither benevolent nor malevolent per se. Basically the antithesis of fertility. The belief in them was rooted in paganism. But when Christianity and the concept of patriarchy began to spread, Hags were increasingly portrayed as evil witches, rather than primitive nature spirits they originally were. Still, more bothering is the fact that this ploy has been rampant all throughout history. Most cultures that introduced the lore of the hag were riddled with misogynistic values that only want young, beautiful, and submissive women they could train to do their housework. You give them an aging female body, non-reproductive and anti-family, or someone headstrong, smart, and powerful, and probably even aware of her sexuality. Then they'll give you the hag. The crone, the ugly old witch. So, to answer your burning question, no. Hags, by their intrinsic nature, aren't evil. Older and wiser women aren't horrible. Perhaps what's truly wicked is the need to taint the image of someone else just because they tap the primal fears you are simply not ready to face. And while the idea that old women are scary is presently deep-seated in the horror genre, culture is shifting. And it's not long before a new season of The Witch finally dawns. Thank you for joining us on this journey into darkness. My name is Sid Myers. Welcome to Lore Thrill. If you'd like to read more about hags and witches, join us at lorethrill.com.
Sleep tight.